Bars come in all different shapes and sizes, but it doesn't matter where your bar is, how many barmen you're working with, or how tight your space is that you have to work in. There is one hard and fast rule, and that rule is that 90% of the drinks on your list need to be within 1 footstep's distance of being able to make, completed, and sent out to the guest. So we need to coordinate our entire station accordingly. And what I mean when I say this, we need to make sure that everything that we need in order to make 90% of those drinks is within arm's reach. Now, the beauty about most bars is that it's usually one flat station like this, and we can coordinate according to how best suits us. So we set up our garnish stations close to us, as they usually come in containers, or we have a fridge underneath us. We can have our equipment close that I can share with other barmen, but we simply need to make sure that there's a general respect whenever anything is used by my colleague next door to me, that it is cleaned and put back where it's supposed to be. So, knowing where everything is and coordinating it specifically to me is your most important rule. As you can see, in front of me, I've got a nice clean space with a chopping board and then a bar mat. Now, the reason for this is most of my cocktails are going to be made with fresh ingredients or need garnishes, and this includes bulk drinks. So all garnishes and all preparation of fresh ingredients, or any ingredient for that matter, is done on my chopping board. Now, we need to ensure that the chopping board is always clean and fresh and that has been scrubbed down so we don't have any artificial flavors. We also need to ensure that we're using our own bar chopping board, so a chopping board specific to bar, that we're not using a kitchen chopping board, as they cut onions and garlic and green peppers and many other different ingredients that cause a residual flavor on this actual chopping board, and that'll be picked up in our beautiful fresh fruit cocktails. Right next to my chopping board, I have my preparation area, where I'm going to be pouring drinks and physically building either in my cocktail shaker or in the highball glass that it's going to be sent out to the guest. Now, there are a number of intricate details of these bar mats. First of all, it's made of rubber, so it almost has a non-stick surface. Then, it is slightly elevated or higher than the actual table surface. So, if I do spill, instead of leaving a ring and a wet, dirty mark on the actual table, and then sending that out to the guest, and the guest getting a ring on the table from the mat, what's going to happen is it's simply going to go straight through, it's going to collect on the bottom of the table, and every 5 or 10 minutes, I simply pick that up and clean that surface. So much easier. Now, whether yours looks like this, whether it's a rubber mat like this, the same rules apply. It's simply liquid collects just underneath, it's non-stick, and it's actually a great platform, so I'm not making drinks there, and I'm not making drinks there. I have a specific space where I'm going to be pouring drinks. That is what your station is all about, having spaces to do specific preparations. The chopping board and the bar mat makes up the center of my station. From the center, everything else is put around. So I have my preparation area and I have my pouring area. And then I have an easy access, everything else that I'm going to use to build, to pour, and to send out fantastic drinks. This will always remain the center of your station and where you're going to do your specific preparations in the right place every single time.
Being busy at the bar means that we have got to be organized. The nature of bar work is that we often have to do many things at the same time, and there is always a lot going on. The very best way to become more organized in your bar is to set up your workstation so that everything has a place and the station is ordered in such a way that the things that you use more frequently are all within arm's reach. A great general rule for bar setup is you must always be able to make 90% of the drinks on your menu by only having to take a maximum of 1 step away from your station. This may sound difficult or even impossible, but if we organize our speed rails, our equipment, our fridges, and glassware properly, we should have everything we need to make most of our drinks within arm's reach, or at least only one step away. With everything close to you and in its own place, we will be able to be far more efficient and productive at the bar. The prep station. The prep station refers to the area on your work surface where you will be preparing your drinks. This forms the center of your workstation at the bar, and every piece of equipment or every ingredient you have will be organized around this station. This is because every drink you make must be poured on the pouring mat. The pouring mat is rubberized, so the glasses or shaker tins you are using to pour, muddle, stir, and crush drinks will not slip around as much as they would on a metal or wooden surface. Also, the pouring mat is raised, so it will collect all of the liquids that are spilled or all of the ice that has melted. Always use the pouring mat to pour drinks on, and you will make far fewer mistakes and you will make far better cocktails. The chopping board is also an important part of the prep station. The chopping board is where all of your cutting work will be done, from cutting garnishes with your knife to peeling, zesting, or grating. The chopping board will need to be cleaned well after each use, as cutting ingredients on it will add strong flavors to whatever else touches the chopping board. We don't want banana flavors to go into our berry cocktails, so we must clean well between each use. Always have a cleaning cloth and a polishing cloth next to the station. The final two things that make up the prep station are the washing bowl or sink and the waste disposal area. The washing bowl or sink is where we have room to quickly wash any items that we have used to make a drink or cocktail. This usually involves a sink and a tap, where we are able to get fresh, clean water to wash any equipment that has got dirty. In the middle of making a cocktail, when you're finished with a piece of equipment, quickly place it in the washing bowl. Then, once the drink has gone out to the guest, immediately clean all of the equipment in the washing bowl area and place everything back in its correct place. Finally, we need to have a specific area for the dustbin or the rubbish bin. This is where we throw away any used or finished items, like bottles or cans, caps, chopped off garnish pieces, or used consumables. Never let empty cans or things that should be thrown away sit on your workstation. They look terrible and they will cause you to make mistakes when you are trying to make drinks and cocktails. Make sure you do not have to walk too far to throw something in the rubbish bin. The easier it is to reach, the more you will use it. The prep station. Use the prep station to your advantage by setting up your station around it. For example, a good setup would be to have your prep station close to your ice equipment, your drinks equipment, and your cutting equipment. Then try to bring your speed rail, with the most often used spirits on it, and garnish station as close as possible too. The illustration below shows an ideal station setup.